Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Saturday. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Happy 4th of July to you all. We thank you all for tuning in to another conversation from the wall. Welcome to On the Wall podcast, where I am your host, Josh Mitchell. And
I am your co host, Sharon Mitchell.
all right, all right, all right. We're glad you guys joined us for take two. We're going to call it take two of On the Wall podcast. Sharon, how you doing this morning?
Doing good.
Doing good? All right, all right, yeah. So I know we have to talk into these mics, get close to them so y'all can hear us. Uh, we're glad we're back. Conversation, right?
Back in the studio.
Yeah, we're back in the studio. We're back on in the studio one more time on the wall, climbing up on the wall. Um, there's so much things that are happening, and so much is going on out in the world, and it just every time you look around, it's stuff that's in the headlines, and it always seems to be more these days bad things that's in the headlines versus good things that's in the headlines. Am I making sense?
Are you making sense?
And we just got to stay focused, y'all. Stay focused. Everything. Now, don't get me wrong, because we don't want to be a show that we're trying to paint this broad brush that everything is doom and gloom. Because people are being victorious, people are prospering in life, but the main thing is, are you prospering in your soul? Are you prospering in your health? So we have to make sure that that we're prospering in the areas that count. Would
And
you?
that your life is aligned
Yeah,
together
absolutely,
spiritually, naturally, financially, socially, emotionally.
absolutely, absolutely. So we want to be not only be victorious. Watch this, here, Sharon. We don't only want to be victorious in our tangible things
Hmm.
like the money,
Yeah,
um, cars, and earthly possessions,
that's right.
but we want to be victorious in our spirit.
That's right.
We want to be ultimately good people. But there are people that are tangibly I made up a word.
I hear you.
That
I
are
didn't say it's too early.
ri- they are rich in tangible things, in earthly things,
Hmm.
and possessions. But their inner person is just in turmoil. You,
Hmm.
you get where I'm trying to go with
Absolutely.
that? So, which brings me to this morning's topic. So, I want to talk to you this morning about building beyond the paycheck.
Building beyond the paycheck.
Building beyond the paycheck. And the reason why we're climbing on the wall and we're talking about building beyond the paycheck because we want to make sure, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I have found myself drifting down this road.
Okay.
And I don't want to be drifting down the road of paying bills, working to pay bills.
It should be bigger than that.
Absolutely. Most people look at it as living check to check.
Yeah.
I don't want to
I
live.
don't want that. I want to come out. I don't want to be in a box. You know
I,
what I mean?
I'm telling you,
I want to be outside of that box.
totally outside
Um,
of that box because
doing things that brings value,
yes,
whether that's like your family, your
absolutely,
character, your
absolutely.
integrity,
Yep,
all of those things,
it
it
matters.
matters to you.
It matters. So I want to ask a sub question here. Yeah, what are you building that no one can take away? Think about that question, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're back. We're back. So my question is, the topic is building beyond the paycheck.
Hmm.
And then the question I want to propose to everybody, please join, go in your likes, your shares, go into everywhere, share this podcast. Y'all help me in sharing, give us some thumbs up Give us some hearts. And if we're bringing good topics and good conversation to you all,
Because this
eh,
is something that can help you with your everyday life.
absolutely. And we're not acting like we got all the answers because we don't have
Because
all
we
the answers.
don't.
But we just want to have conversation about things that people face with because we definitely have been faced with many of these things. Am I
It
right?
reminds me of the slogan, "We are just real people
Dealing with
dealing
real
with real
issues.
issues."
Absolutely. So what are you building is the question that no one can take away. Because let's be honest,
Mhm.
right? Jobs uh, changes.
It does.
People lose their jobs all the time. How many times you have turned on the news and heard about some big manufacturing warehouse or something? That's blue collar workers. That's supposed to be us. Have lost their jobs. Hundreds of people laid off. Thousands of people that have been laid off at one time. What are these people supposed to do? Right? Some people are not old enough and have not invested enough into their 401ks and different things like that
Or
to
even savings,
yeah. Mhm.
we normally talk about, at least having 3 to 6 months savings,
Absolutely.
but some people don't even have that to do because they're all wrapped up in a lot of, expenses that they have to put out.
Mhm. Yeah. So and that's where the phrase coming from, come in living check to check.
Mhm.
We have to build something. And when I say we have to, I'm talking about all of us that's up on this wall. Because our whole theme is meeting Nehemiah being on the wall because he had a mind to work. And no matter what distractions that was going on, Nehemiah was not going to be distracted from the purpose that God had for him or the calling that God had set or yeah, the calling that he had upon his life
Mhm.
and the mission that he was on to rebuild that wall of Jerusalem. So each and every one of us, we all have our own individual wall,
That's right.
right? And if we stay focused on the task that's at hand and build our wall brick by brick, right? And then when the winds come and the rains descend and beat upon our wall, it won't fall so easily if it falls at all. You hopefully don't fall at all. But let's be honest, even if being an entrepreneur, right, on
Mhm.
your own business, which I have owned several businesses, and even with owning your own business, sometimes businesses do close.
That's true.
Sometimes businesses don't be as prosperous as we would like, but we're not just building the business per se or the tangible part of it, but we're building character.
That's right.
I want to, focus on building morals, building our faith. Because when we have the foundation, right, within us, then no matter what happens in life, we have the tools that's necessary, I believe, Sharon,
That's
that
right.
we can get through whatever life throws at us. But here's the contrast. Here's the difference between, you know, building something that lasts beyond a paycheck.
Mhm.
Because a paycheck only goes as far as your company allows it to go.
That's true.
Go ahead.
Because it can change in the blink of an eye.
Absolutely. I have been on jobs, seriously, where management have changed numerous of times just on one job. You think on some of these jobs, especially in the line of work, because everybody know that, I'm a preacher, you know, but my profession is truck driving.
Mhm.
And in the industry of truck driving, if you're working for a company and you work there for some time, it's guaranteed that management is going to change several times. I don't know why it is, but managers don't last long in the trucking business. I don't know. It's because they don't make as much as the drivers, which that within itself, I don't think. Yeah, I ain't gonna get in that. I'll, you know, they don't make as much as truck drivers. Some people think they should, some people think they don't. I'm a truck driver, so you can probably guess what side I'm on. But anyways, um, we don't want to build our life.
Mhm.
This is important to me.
Okay.
We don't want to build our life based on somebody else being able to manipulate or control whether we succeed or whether we fail. If I'm going to work on some job, because I own my own business,
Mhm.
right? So my life started out at being an employee, of course, most people do. Being an employee, then God allowed me to start my own business, so I tasted that.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. I loved it. That I loved the freedom that I had.
Yeah, because it brings flexibility.
But oh
You can
man,
do more.
owning your own totally brings
versus
flexibility.
clocking in on somebody else's,
Yeah,
dreams.
because somebody else manipulates that, somebody else controls that,
They do.
and if that company ever shuts down, if you're not really preparing, right? If you're not preparing
Your
yourself,
position can be eliminated.
then what happens beyond the paycheck?
Mhm.
So I guess my point in this conversation, because somebody say, "Well, what is y'all point?" I guess my point is this conversation to encourage people to build, especially within their mind and in their heart, beyond just going to work, clocking in on the time clock. That's why I tell people, even people that I know that have a lot of issues on their jobs with coworkers and immediate supervisors and things like that. I always tell them, "Hey, your life story is bigger than that. Look beyond that." Some people get on jobs and that's it for them. They're not looking to do anything else. And don't get me wrong, there are great jobs that you can grow within the job, and elevate up to the top levels of that company.
That's true.
So there's nothing wrong being employed because I'm an employee and I like my job that I do. But when I have tasted, that freedom of ownership, that's something that I desire and I'm building towards that. Everybody probably can't be an owner of a business
Yeah.
and be successful with it. Some people are only going to be employees. But even with that,
Yeah, even with that, they can
mhm,
still build. You can
that's
still
right. That's
build.
that's exactly the point. Even with being an employee, you don't. I'm not sitting here painting the picture that everybody just should be business owners because everybody be a business owner would never have no employees, right? So it's obvious that everybody can't be a business owner. So I'm not suggesting that. But what I am suggesting is that in your workflow,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I'm telling the truth, man.
Yeah,
In your workflow, whatever you doing, do your best
that's right.
and build. Because if you lose that job, how you gonna pay bills? How you gonna regulate in life? How you gonna manage your life giving situations if you have not took the necessary steps to grow your finances? You
Okay.
have not took the
Okay.
necessary steps to save up for 3 to 6 months if you should
If something happens.
emergency or something take place. You have not even explored the option of investing. And some people's like, man, be like, well, you don't went too far now because we ain't even there. Okay, okay, okay. Well, let's back it back down. Let's back it back down. What are you doing with your weekly or your biweekly check to help you start turning your life vehicle around to the success? Because right now you're just driving. Most people, not most people, but a lot of people are. Let's just be real. This is just we're going real talk. A lot of people are driving their vehicles to doors that are locked,
Okay.
and they're trying to go through locked doors before they go through the doors that are open to them. Some people see doors that they want so bad, and they. You remember Price is Right? I don't know if this is gonna be a good analogy, but I'm gonna try it. And you remember Pastor Right when Bob Becker rolled the wheel, the big wheel, and then it said, "What's behind these doors?" And then you already have something that's of value, right?
Mhm.
That you already may have won. You already have. You have this thing that's of value, and then you see these curtains and stuff, and you just know from previous shows that it's a chance that something could be greater
Behind
behind
it.
them curtains.
Mhm.
So you just going. Some people just say, "No, I'm satisfied with what I have," and some people say, "No, I want to see what's behind these curtains."
That's right.
We could take that and look at it like, okay, you have something good, build upon it. But instead of you building upon what you have good, you too busy looking at
Look
everybody
behind the
else's
curtain.
curtains,
Yeah.
right? You're looking at everything else, and you ain't even focused on what God entrusted you with. So in other words, you got a door that's open to you, build on it. And but other than that, instead of building on that door, you walking around, you checking all the other doors that's locked that you can't get in because you ain't even good steward of the door that's open.
That's right.
If you be good steward of the door that's open to you, then the next door will open for you. Then the next door open in the right time, right? One more analogy, y'all. One more. This one's gonna be good. This one's gonna be good. One more. All right. So we went to the escape room,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
You got to have the clues. When we was in the escape room, I'm horrible. If y'all ever go to escape room, do not call Josh to go to escape room with you. I'm just gonna be a body in there. I promise you. My wife and the kids. I tell you, they would get them clues and everything. I feel good every time something got unlocked, and then I thought about it. I really didn't contribute to it being unlocked. But the purpose of me bringing that in, the escape room, you can't go to the next set of clues in the next area of that escape
Until
room
you figure out what's
unt-
going on
until you,
this level.
man, that's so powerful right there. Well, I'm telling you. so so right now, I made the point. Y'all will let me know in the comment
Yes,
if
thought
the
you was
point
going somewhere, huh?
if the point wasn't good. Y'all let us know in in the comment. But my point is, listen, all seriousness, we have jobs, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us are working on people's jobs. Life is hard. Um, inflations are all up, gas prices up. Even though lately they've been coming down, they only come down to up. They was already up before they went up, but
Okay.
so they only came down from a stream up to a lower
A lower up.
up, right? So you know, people the politics stuff they want to make it look like the gas prices. Oh, gas prices are down. Yeah, they down from they down to up from extremely up. So gas prices are up. Um, um, food prices are up. Um, everything is up. You know, and they want you to be faithful in your work and come to work and do the things that you should do. Despite how the economy is, despite what's going on, despite how you struggling, how you can't hardly buy milk in your
Or
house,
pay
how
your
you can't hardly
bills.
buy eggs, how you can't hardly make your bills. You don't have no real savings. It's struggle, struggle, struggle. But here's the caveat. Here's
Okay.
the
Help
caveat to
help
it.
the people.
The caveat is even though that we only have a little bit, right?
Mhm.
We only have a little bit. We have to still, I'm just being honest, because if we just lay down, we ain't doing nothing. So we can't lay down even when we only have a pinch of something. So you take that pinch and figure out how to pinch the pinch. That's real. You have to take the pinch and figure out how to pinch the pinch. If your check is just that small, you can't make. There's something. Listen, I know people gonna kick back, and some people just ain't gonna do it. But those that will listen, those he that has an ear, let him hear. Right?
Yeah.
You to be where you are trying to grow. Because don't get me wrong, I think if I took a poll and say everybody raise your hand who want to be a business owner, who want to own their own business, do your own thing, I think I'll probably get 100% of yes, I'll do. You know, um, but to get there, it had to start from somewhere.
It has to be preparation.
Yeah, you take your pinch.
Mhm.
You might not make enough to cover all that you have. Then that's when I feel like that we have to reevaluate that we have
Mhm.
and find out what's
Necessary.
necessary and what's not necessary, what's essential and what's not essential.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to live pandemic style just to get ahead a little bit so we can have some breathing room. What I mean by that, living very conservative. You might not be able to do cable for the kids. You might not be able to do,
You can get
huh?
Roku.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's still another bill. I'm trying to eliminate some bills for these folks. You know, so we got to
But it's
eliminate some.
cheaper.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, whatever works for each individual.
Yeah.
Roku might work. I don't know, but I just know one thing: if what you're doing ain't been working in all your adult life, then you know it's time for a change, right?
Yeah, then that's when the evaluation comes in. Yeah.
Right. I think that people should reevaluate the status. If I feel like now you might feel different from me, and that's fine. But I feel like if you've been doing something for all your adult life,
Mhm.
and that you have been doing for all your adult life has not worked for you, isn't it obvious that it's something that needs to be changed?
Yeah, it's time for a
Okay.
reevaluation.
So if it's time for that something to be changed and you are an employee on somebody's job, because the topic is uh um uh beyond the paycheck, right?
That's
So put the topic back up there for us again. So Redo, yeah, put it up there so they can get it, the topic and the subtopic. Yeah. So building beyond the paycheck is the topic. So if we're gonna build beyond the paycheck, we got to get our working pieces in order, right? So The question becomes, what are you building that no one can take away? People can take your positions away. People can take your job away, paycheck away. People can take things away. That's why when you buy a car, the goal for buying a car is to be a owner of the car, right? Because if you miss payments, guess what? They send in that tow truck to come snatch that car away from you. So everything is about establishing the mindset to not to be in debt to nobody.
That's right.
And that's the life that I'm striving for. I don't want to be in debt to no man because my Bible teaches that way. That we should be lenders and not borrowers. And I do understand. I'm just an ordinary person. We're ordinary people. We're dealing with real issues. And I'm just an ordinary person. And I do understand that life is hard. And people are in situations where it seems like every time they get a piece of money, it goes towards bills. My position here today from the top of the wall is to uh, say that there are options even when it seems like there is no options.
Mhm.
There is a way when it seems like there is no way, right? We have to look through what all we're paying. Look at all the subscriptions that we have on our phones, right? Things that we're paying for that might not be necessary. You know, it, I know this is gonna be a hard one for everybody because it might hurt us and it hurt our show. And you got to let that internet go, for a season, right? Just to get some leeway, get some gain. Everybody should not just be just taking their check and depositing their checks in their bank accounts and then just swiping the card and nobody keeping books. That's the way the system wants you to do. The system wants you to stay dependent on the system. I refuse to be reliant on this system. I want to be in control. I want God, Christ Jesus, to be ultimately in control, but I want through Him to be in control of my own destiny.
That's
You
right.
know, my own future. Yeah, not having to wait a certain time of year before I can take time off from a job because somebody else wanted the time off, and I got to fight over what days I'm off, and stuff like that. So take a piece of what you got, organize it,
That's
right?
true.
Organize it. Okay, I get a check, add up all my bills, how much all my bills are,
Mhm.
everything that I pay out of my bills. What do I need? What do I don't need? This is what I need. This is in my means. I'm finna. Matter of fact, I dare anybody to take the oath today. Say from this day forward, I am no longer going to live beyond my means.
Mhm.
I'm going to live within my means.
That's
That
right.
I long term, my future self, will be pleased in who I am today and the decisions that I make today
For the future.
to set up my future self.
Mhm.
There are a lot of people out there sharing that I believe that's going to be their future self is going to be upset with their present self because their present self was only thinking about the now. And I know I'm right because I hear
You hear
people
it all
talk
the
about it
time.
all the time. Yeah, somebody, well, I'm just living for right now. You can't just live for right now because what's your future self going to do? Your future self sitting in the wings waiting, like, hey.
You know how they say when life start happening,
hmm
what you gonna do then?
When life start happening, what you gonna do then? Right now, people got the famous saying now, life be lifing. Yeah, life be lifing, but because it's lifing, because life is lifing, you just don't accept that and just say, well, that life be lifing. That's just what it is. What it is. No, we every day God give us breath in our body. I feel like to wake up. Am I right?
We're one day closer to achieving and obtaining that goal that we're
Yeah,
trying to aim for.
yeah. And God give us that breath in our body that we can continue to get up the next day
Mhm.
and fight a little bit more. Keep on fighting, you
That's a
know.
keep fighting a good fight of faith.
Yeah, we got to keep on fighting. So our faith is important, y'all. Our character,
Integrity.
our integrity,
Mhm.
you know, our marriages, our relationships with our children, our wisdom, skills. What else?
Reputation
Yeah, businesses. And
and legacy.
legacy is important. What's your legacy gonna be? You know, I hear people talk about past people that done gone on, mothers, some fathers, uncles, aunts, and there are people that have amazing stories about the legacy of their loved ones.
Mhm.
Our legacy really does matter.
It does.
It does, because it does me so much good, and I feel so, and it's so enjoyable to talk about the legacy of my grandmother, how she really poured into, raising my mom's kids, and my grandfather, raising us, the 5 of us, and we weren't easy to raise. We was all, soaring for our destiny in our own way, and these folk had to manage all these different mindsets. Am I talking good?
Oh, you
And,
talking good.
so when I think of my grandmother and the legacy that she has left, I'm proud to talk about her legacy. See that? See how important that is for your legacy to be a good legacy? Because your children, your nieces, your nephews, your grandchildren, your sisters, your brother, whoever, whomsoever you leave back here, they got to represent you.
Mhm.
And because there are cases where people, and y'all know that people have talked about different loved ones that have died, and they really run their name down to the dirt. They really make it sound like these people was not even worth being worth the life that they had. The legacy is, and I think that stems from sharing the things they did while they was alive.
That's true.
They didn't leave a positive uh,
Impact.
impact on the people that they left behind. So the people they left behind had nothing really great to say, have nothing really great to say about them, and that's not a good legacy to leave behind. So your legacy does matter. Don't think because when you die or when you dead and gone, it don't matter. I'm not here no more. I ain't got to deal with it. It don't matter. It does matter to your children. That you want to still be respected in the world, and different ones that you know got to, bear your memory in their mind as they continue to navigate through life, because they got things that you did that influenced them even when you gone from years from now. It's the things that you did and things that you taught and the things that you instilled in them that they using this day to still navigate through life.
Mhm.
So our legacy matters. And the reason why I brought legacy in, because our legacy is only going to be what we're doing while we're here and how we're impacting others.
That's true.
So we got to be good stewards over our income. So yes, you know, what are you building
That no one can take away.
that no one can take away? Our checks might be small. Our jobs might be dead end. Our jobs might not have good benefits. Okay. So we realize that, right?
Mhm.
We do realize that.
Yeah.
So then doesn't it behoove us to start taking the necessary steps to make better decisions?
Yes.
You know, not sit around all day and surfing Instagram and TikTok. Be be productive. Like we gotta get busy, right? Um, if you want better,
You gotta do better.
right? If you want better, you gotta just do better. So I hope, Sharon, me, I hope that's something that we're saying today. And I hope it was worth you guys tuning in to the podcast. These are the things that we want to talk about. Like I said, we don't have all the answers for everything. We're not trying to act like we got all the answers, but what we do want to do is just talk about it, discuss it. Because even in our talking,
Mhm.
and me and you talking with each other and discussing these matters or whatever the case may be, somebody might gain a nugget from it
Yeah.
and be like, "Yeah, I could use that. That makes sense. You know what? I'm gonna do that. That's the missing piece I needed to help my life be better."
That's right. To go a little further.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. So we hoping our purpose of being on the wall, and again, we're glad that you all are coming to climb this wall with us, because we don't want to be up on the wall and just have you watching us on the wall, but we want to be on the wall together, and we want to turn our face to the wall and stay focused on the things that God is trying to build in our life, no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in this